$400. That is what I charge to reseal a caravan roof hatch that has started leaking. $400 for a job that takes me 90 minutes. And here's the thing that'll annoy you. If the owner had spent $11.20 once a year, that leak would never have happened. $11. $400. That's the gap between knowing a thing and not knowing it. And I see that gap cost people money every single week in my workshop. Most caravan and RV advice online is about shoe organizers and command hooks. Useful, sure. But nobody's shoe organizer ever saved them from a rotten floor or a chassis failure or a $5,000 electrical repair. So today, I'm giving you 12 hacks that actually matter. Not decorating tips, repairer's tips. The things I wish every owner knew before they rolled into my shop with a problem that was completely preventable. I'm Liam. I'm 50. I've spent my adult life fixing these things, and every one of these hacks comes from a repair I've done that shouldn't have been necessary. No sponsorships, nobody paying me a cent. Let's go. Hack number 12. Buy a cheap thermal leak detector and scan your walls twice a year. You can get a basic infrared thermometer for under $40. Run it along your interior walls on a cool morning, particularly around windows, doors, and the tunnel boot. Damp insulation reads colder than dry insulation. If you find a cold spot where there shouldn't be one, you've found water entering your wall cavity months or years before it becomes visible damage. A leak caught early is a $50 tube of sealant. A leak caught late is a $10,000 floor replacement. This is the single highest value $40 you will ever spend on your van. Hack number 11. Torque your wheel nuts after the first 50 kilometers of every trip, and carry a torque wrench to do it. Wheel nuts loosen after the wheel has been off, after new tires, and after a long period of storage. Most owners tighten them by feel with the wheel brace that came with the van, which either over-tightens and stretches the stud or under-tightens and lets the wheel work loose. A decent torque wrench costs $80. A wheel separating from your van at highway speed costs considerably more. Check your handbook for the correct torque figure, usually somewhere between 100 and 140 Newton meters, and do it religiously. Hack number 10. Put a strip of gaffer tape across your fridge vents before you leave a dusty campsite. Every corrugated road you drive throws fine dust into the fridge vent openings on the outside wall of your van. That dust settles on the condenser coils and the burner assembly, insulating them and dramatically reducing cooling efficiency. Over a few seasons, it can kill an absorption fridge entirely. A strip of tape while you're driving on dirt costs nothing and takes 30 seconds. Remove it as soon as you stop, because the fridge needs that airflow when it's running. I've cleaned dust-choked fridge assemblies that were so packed the burner couldn't breathe, and the owner thought the fridge was faulty. It wasn't. It was suffocating. Hack number 9. Use a bio-wash tablet in your toilet cassette instead of chemical additive. The blue chemical you buy from the caravan shop costs $20 to $30 a bottle and lasts a few weeks. A washing machine bio tablet costs about 30 cents each, breaks down waste just as effectively through enzyme action, and doesn't produce the harsh chemical smell that gives caravan toilets their reputation. It's also better for dump points and septic systems. Owners who switch never go back. Hack number 8. Line every cupboard, drawer, and shelf with non-slip rubber matting and cut squares to put between stacked plates and pans. This is the cheapest noise and damage prevention you can buy. $10 of matting eliminates the rattling that drives you mad on corrugated roads, stops crockery chipping and cracking in transit, and prevents cupboard contents shifting and putting stress on the catches. Broken drawer catches and cupboard hinges are one of the most common small repairs I do, and almost all of them are caused by contents moving around inside and hammering the fittings. Hack number 7. Take a photo of your fuse panel, your water system layout, and your 12-volt wiring before you ever need them. Do it now while everything works, and you're standing in daylight with a coffee. When something fails, it will fail at night, in the rain, 400 k's from anywhere, and you will be lying on the ground with a torch in your mouth, trying to work out which fuse does what. Photos on your phone solve that instantly. I'd add a photo of your chassis plate showing your tear and ATM figures, and a photo of every appliance's model and serial number. When you need a part sourced remotely, that information saves days. Quick favor before I hit the top 6, and these are the ones that save the most money. If this is useful, hit subscribe. It costs nothing, and it helps get this in front of the next person about to make a $400 mistake. On we go. Hack number 6. Run your air conditioner for 20 minutes once a month, even in winter, even in storage. Air conditioner failures are the single most common repair issue in the entire RV industry. And a huge proportion of them happen because the unit sat unused for 6 months. The compressor oil settled, the seals dried out, and the refrigerant migrated. 20 minutes of running once a month circulates the oil, keeps the seals lubricated, and dramatically extends the life of the unit. A rooftop air conditioner costs $2,000 to $3,000 to replace. 20 minutes a month is free. Hack number 5. Silicone spray your rubber door and window seals every 3 months. UV and heat are the enemies of rubber. Australian conditions perish seals faster than almost anywhere on Earth, and perished seals are the #1 entry point for water into your van. A can of silicone spray costs about $12 and will last 2 years. Wipe the seals clean, spray a light coat on a rag, and run it along every seal on the van. It keeps the rubber pliable, prevents cracking, and stops the seal sticking and tearing when you open a door in cold weather. This is the $11 fix I mentioned at the start of this video that prevents the $400 reseal. Hack number 4. Fit a water pressure regulator on your mains inlet and never connect to a caravan park tap without one. Caravan park water pressure varies wildly. Some parks run at 40 psi. Some run at over 100. Your van's plumbing system is typically rated to around 40 to 60. Connect to a high-pressure tap without a regulator, and you can blow fittings, split pipes, and flood your van while you're at the beach. A brass inline regulator costs about $35 and screws onto the tap in 5 seconds. I have repaired water damage from burst internal plumbing that ran into 5 figures, and every single one of those jobs would have been prevented by a $35 brass fitting. Hack number 3. Put a moisture absorber in every enclosed storage space and change them seasonally. Condensation is a slow killer in caravans. It forms inside cupboards, under mattresses, in the tunnel boot, and behind wall panels, and it causes mold, timber swelling, and corrosion of metal fittings. A basic moisture absorber costs a few dollars and pulls liters of water out of the air over a season. Put them in the tunnel boot, under the bed, in the wardrobe, and in any storage bay that doesn't get ventilated. And when you store the van, prop the fridge door open and leave a couple of cupboards ajar so air can circulate. Hack number 2. Learn to read your chassis for early corrosion, and do it every 6 months with nothing but a hammer handle. This is the trick every repairer knows, and almost no owner does. Get under the van with a torch and tap along the chassis rails, the A-frame, and around every weld with the wooden handle of a hammer. Sound steel rings. Corroded steel thuds or sounds hollow. If you find a section that sounds different to the rest, you've found internal corrosion before it becomes a structural failure. Also look for rust staining running down from weld seams and bolt holes, and check where the stone guard ends, because that's where protection stops and damage starts. 5 minutes twice a year. That's it. And I've seen 5-year-old painted chassis where you could push a screwdriver through the A-frame because nobody ever looked. And hack number 1, the single most valuable thing you can do for your caravan is to weigh it fully loaded at a public weighbridge before your first big trip, and then again every couple of years. Most people have no idea what their van actually weighs when it's packed for travel with full water tanks, a full fridge, tools, gear, and awning. Studies of Australian caravans on weighbridges have repeatedly found that a large proportion are overweight, and many exceed their legal ATM without the owner having any clue. Being overweight does 3 things. It voids your insurance in the event of a claim. It puts your suspension, chassis, and tires under loads they were never engineered for, which is precisely how chassis cracks and bearing failures start. And it makes your van unstable to tow, which is how sway becomes a rollover. A weighbridge ticket costs about $30. It tells you your real tear, your real ball weight, and your real ATM. And if you're over, you can fix it by leaving gear at home instead of finding out the hard way on the Stewart Highway. So the recap: 12 hacks. A thermal scan twice a year. Torque your wheel nuts. Tape the fridge vents on dirt. Bio tablets in the cassette. Rubber matting everywhere. Photograph your systems before you need them. Run the aircon monthly. Silicone the seals quarterly. Fit a pressure regulator. Moisture absorbers in every space. Tap the chassis for corrosion. And weigh the van loaded. My honest takeaway is this: almost every expensive caravan repair I do started as a cheap, preventable problem that nobody noticed. Water gets in through a seal that costs $12 to maintain. A chassis fails because nobody tapped it with a hammer handle. A fridge dies because nobody taped a vent. The difference between a van that costs you nothing and a van that costs you thousands is not luck, and it's not brand. It's 20 minutes of attention a few times a year. Do these 12 things, and you will genuinely save yourself thousands over the life of your van. Share this with someone who's just bought their first van. It might be the most useful thing they watch this year. I'll see you in the next one. Look after it, and it'll look after you. This content reflects the presenter's honest opinions based on first-hand workshop experience, published maintenance guidance, and industry data at the time of recording. Individual circumstances vary. Always consult your owner's manual and a qualified technician before carrying out maintenance or modifications on your vehicle.